Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Air Hauler 2 with me, your 37. So finally, we're gonna do a cargo flight in our new little Piper Cherokee. Check it out here. There's a little Piper Cherokee, 100%. And man, I got that guy Zach. He did some jobs, and he actually fixed the plane, which kind of sucked because it actually kind of cost a lot of money. I think when we gave it to him, it was like 77%. Or 73, and he actually fixed it up to 27, and then he damaged it again down to like 10%. It's like, you little bastard. Like, but I also I'll show you this because I've got another pilot now as well. Here we go. Here's the routes. Here's where would I go? Here we go. So I got Zach Cotterill, and now we've got also Maya Halford, and that's because when I hired her. Because I wanted to set up a route. And this Zach guy, did I call him Max earlier? I meant Zach if I did. He's flying from Huntington. These are passenger flights. Huntington to KSDF, which is Louisville. Then he flies back. Then he flies it again, and then back to Huntington again. He does that Monday through Friday. And then as soon as he gets back to Huntington for the second time, Maya, she takes the plane over to KCVG, which is Cincinnati. Then she comes back and then goes to Cincinnati again and then comes back. So we're actually using the plane quite a bit. We could actually get another person and do night flights. Because you can see he's taking off at 8 o'clock and the plane doesn't get back until about 10. So I could actually have 1 or 2 more flights. But I think that's pretty good, at least for right now. I'll probably do night flights, quite honestly. Maybe have someone take it down to Charlotte. But this is pretty good because this takes them very close to their max allowed, flight time for the day. Because he's got almost 8 hours. Yeah, almost 8 hours for each. I can't remember exactly how long you're allowed to fly. But because neither of them could take another flight after they did their 2. Well, technically 4 because it's coming back, but the 2 flights, to either Louisville or Cincinnati, and mess with the. I think I took them all down, all the planes, or all the ticket prices down like $220. I started at $450. I'll explain that later out in another video. But yeah, so we've got like money coming in constantly, which is a big advantage for it, especially a big advantage from Air Hauler because you could never do that, which is just awesome. And you'll notice over here on the info, our overall reputation has increased because each time they did a, I think it's gone up for passengers probably too. Yeah, so they're getting, it did increase a little bit. That one didn't really increase. But, so it's increasing that, they actually screwed that up. No, that one stayed the same. So they're increasing that, and they've also increased the cargo when that dude, Zach, took some cargo, so it's looking pretty good. Now we're going to do our first flight in our little Piper Cherokee. I have flown over to KUNI, it's KUNI, and we're actually going to pick up 2 cargo here, 2 jobs. One's going to KRZT, which is in Chillicothe, Ohio. Been there many times. And then we'll fly straight from there over to 37I, which I guess is Troy, Ohio. Because with this, it's total of 866 pounds. And our little Piper Cherokee can fit that. If we look over here, because remember I increased the cargo ability by like 200 pounds because I say in the cargo configuration, the seats and everything in the back, all that crap is taken out. So I increased it about 200 pounds, which I think is good. And you can see our cargo capacity is actually 1228, so we're only taking 866. We should be just fine. Let's go over here to Flight Sim Commander. 37I, which is the second flight, they actually don't have the information on that on AirNav, so I'll just show you this one. So we can take a look at the chart real quick. We're going to come over to Jevmu, and then on a heading of 298 degrees over to Yonex, and then from Yonex, by the way, we'll be at 3,000 feet. We'll go on a heading of 228 down to Kefli, and then on a heading of 227 down to Monroe at 1,700 feet, and then down to the runway. And here you can see the weather. Actually, that's from Ohio. So we've taken off on runway 25. That's what actually came in. You just saw the landing on that. It was a greaser. My first landing of that thing was a greaser. Well, I guess not first landing, but, you know, technically. And here's the weather right here. We're not going to land. Technically, I guess you should land on that grass. I'm not going to land on the grass when I've got concrete runways. So we're going to, land on runway 25, a heading of 247 degrees. Airport elevation should be about 722 feet. And then we'll take off on runway 25 and go over to 37I. And let's see, 37I. Let me go ahead and just like type that in so you can see it. Actually, I should have left that one in. At KRZI. Over to 37I. See, it's not KR. KRZT. Damn it. KRZT. Over to 37I. And there you can see Troy. It is a grass, unfortunately. But it does look like it's fairly long. So it's like an air park airport. I was looking at AirNav, but they didn't have any. They didn't have any procedure. It isn't a name for this little air park. But yeah, it is a little airport. There's like 12 planes, I think, sitting on there, something like that. That's a parking area. I guess there will be one over here too. We've seen, I guess, similar to that. And we'll go back over to Air Hauler 2. And we want to fly now. And we'll go ahead and load both these up. The furthest one is like over 100 miles, so I want to make sure, you know, that we have enough fuel. Although we can fuel up at, where is it, KRZT. But estimated range is about 67 miles. I haven't quite figured this plane out, so about the fuel. So I need a little work on that, because I use like, I think I came up with 10. Now it's only 5.3. So I want to make sure we have plenty. I'm going to beef this up to 10 again. I've got 10 gallons, more than enough, at least to KRZT. And then we can check it when we get there. Buy a little more if we need to. I'm going VFR out to the west, northwest. I'll put, it's not very far though. Let's just do like 4,500 feet. And the time, I'll back it up a little bit. Alright, and with that, I guess we can go ahead and move on over to the plane. Alright, everybody, here we are in our little Piper, man. Our little Piper. Got people in there acting as our weight. Of course, just like always. Alright, so here on our plane, like I said last time when we were doing our rating, I don't see any actual procedures, so just kind of start up this way. I mean, it'll work, obviously. Just not sure that it's the exact 100% way you're supposed to do it. But I'm going to go ahead and push that in. We'll turn on our master switch. Hit our fuel pump, and you'll see we do have fuel. I'm going to switch that off. I'll switch the master switch off as well. I'll prime it twice. Parking brake is on. Master switch coming back on. I want to go ahead and turn our beacon on. Our mags to both. Alright, now we'll hit the starter switch. There we got her. I'm going to go ahead and lean this out. I'll lean this to about 50%. There we go. I need to move this. You hear that little sound like that, almost static? Like it started doing that after I landed. I'm not sure what that's all about. Alright, so I need to go ahead and turn the pitot heat on. We're going to turn on our radios as well. We'll put that into standby. Turn on all the electronics. Alright, we've got our headphones on. I need to put that back to GPS. And actually, let me do one thing really quick. I can switch that to VFR and we'll try and program that in. So I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back and we switched over to VFR and I couldn't find JevMove, but I did get Yonex, or Yonex I'm going to call it, and Kefli. Didn't have one row, but that's alright because we'll be lined up and we should probably have the runway in sight for sure. So we'll be alright. So now we don't have to ask for clearance either. I like that. I always hate having to ask for clearance and cancel it and all that crap. So let's select a runway for takeoff. And we're going to take off on runway 25, just how I landed. Announce our taxi. So heading up 247. There we go. Alright. Clear off these messages. Cancel all messages. Move that, and we'll bring our yoke back. Now, there's no taxi lights for the plane. They're just kind of odd. I guess some don't, I don't know. It's got landing lights, of course. See, it's got nav and recall lights, but I think that's only on the inside. Like, I guess maybe when you turn it on, you can see you got the red over here, and we should have the green on the other side. So I don't know, maybe those just automatically, I don't know. There's no actual switch for them, just maybe when it's running, those nav lights automatically come on, which just makes sense. Alright, so parking brake is off. Let me really quickly I'm gonna give her a little more fuel here. Because as I was trying to increase the power a little bit, she sounded like she was struggling. I wasn't sure if that was, whoa, because the cold or if it was fuel. It was fuel. Which is just fine. I just don't want to... See, that windsock is actually wrong, because when I landed on 25 so I could use the ILS. And I saw that windsock, and I thought, well, the weather will be showing, you know, I should have used 7. Or not, yeah, 7. But, yeah, Flight Sim Commander also shows that the wind, that I did it correctly, that the wind is actually coming, and you should use 25. Because it's coming from, what was it, the west? So let's taxi on down here. Not following the line, but that's alright, I'm a rebel, right? I switched my view around a little bit, different from when we did the rating as well. I'm sitting down in the seat just a little more, which is probably correct. I did kind of like sitting up a little bit. This is just fine. Yeah, she's a fun little airplane, man. She's got tons of power, especially compared to like the Cessna little Skyhawk, man. This thing's got buttloads of power. Boatloads of power, I should say. And she's pretty fun to fly, and we can fly her pretty fast. Although I pull back, obviously, on the throttle a little bit, save a little bit of money on fuel. Although it's not incredibly important. It's like in a plane like this, like it doesn't use a whole lot of fuel, so you're not really saving that much. Whoa! See, we're kind of pitched up, I think, because I put a lot of weight in the back, so we're going to be pretty heavy. Also, we were kind of going kind of fast when I pumped the brake a little bit. Just gonna come forward. Alright, so we'll stop right here to run. I'm not going to do the run-ups. I need to look a little more about how to do the run-ups in this plane. I'm sure it's probably the same. Just checking the mags and everything, but I'm not going to do that just yet. So put the parking brake on. I'll go ahead and put out some flaps. I'll just put it to 10. We're going to turn our landing lights on. And our strobe lights as well. If I do that... Also, no, those lights don't come automatically. I had it in dim. If you turn it to bright. Alright, so those do need to come on. Alright. So I put it in bright. It doesn't really matter. Alright, so those do come on automatically. And we're going to be going... We're going out to the west. It's west-northwest. Let's say west. 100%. Transponder going on. Alright, let's make sure nobody is coming. Is that kind of true? Alright, everything looks good. Oh, come back. There we go. Parking brake coming off. Alright, we're lined up fairly well. A little over. Alright, let's hit it. I'm going to push down on the yoke a little bit since we're so heavy, especially in the back. There's our 60 knots. Start to get up. Wow. Wow, she handles totally different when she's heavy like this. I gotta get that nose down. Holy cow. She does not like that. Wow, I took off from Huntington, real nice and everything. Man, this thing is just crazy. I'm gonna go ahead and retract the flaps. I don't know if we're just totally misbalanced on the size or what. I figure we might be because I had to put the passenger like beside me. She's like 250 pounds and I'm like 170. So we're probably off. Well, that's 80 pounds. I don't know how much of a difference that makes. But that was craziness getting off the ground. Oh, it had one hell of a problem. I didn't see Air Hauler 2 say anything. That kind of worries me. Oh, there it is. I was about to say, man. What do I do? Should I cancel and make sure this thing's got me or what? I'm gonna move my mic just a little bit. Over here to the right, we've got pretty good air speed. She really likes to climb fast. I think that's because she's got so much power and goes so quick. She climbs. She wants to get that nose up real bad. Of course, the trim as well. I've been trimming down like crazy. We'll head on over to Chillicothe. I've driven through Chillicothe many a times on my way to Columbus. I'm still trimming her down. Because when I let go, the yoke, she wants to pull back. Although, like I said, we're real heavy in the back as well. Okay, so we're in GPS over here. So if I want, I can go to the fourth one. She will follow the line. I gotta keep that nose down. I'm trying to trim the hell out of it. And still, she's popping back. And then it says I trimmed it too much. Are you kidding me? In 5 seconds? There's no way. Craziness. So I'm gonna have to pull back on the yoke a little bit. I'll try and trim her up a little bit as well. That takeoff was just wild, though. Caught me totally off guard. I just started letting off the yoke a little bit. She came up, and then all of a sudden, she came way up and off to the side. Ain't no day. Okay, so the heading, it looks like 314. Yeah, 314. Desired track. Trying to trim down with one hand and use the other to, man, see, all of a sudden it's like the nose just wants to pop up as we finish that turn and everything, but damn. And then 2 seconds later, it's like that, it shows I trimmed it too much. It doesn't make any sense. And now it wants me to trim her way back up. I just don't quite get it. I kind of liked when I try to hit a certain altitude as well. I liked using this. Actually, nose down. I'm sorry. That's why. Like when I was on the way over here, it was like 13% at one time. So you can see how much she's trimmed up. Yeah, that's a lot of trim. And see, just a little bit, and it says that I trimmed it that much. Come on now. So we've got to try and figure this out. It wasn't so bad last time. I guess maybe one reason it takes more trim is because we're so heavy in the back, and I came up here empty. Let's see if she'll climb gently now. I think we might have found a kind of a sweet spot for our climb here. Even if it's under 500 feet. And now she's coming back down a little bit. I'd like to climb at least 700 feet. I'd like to really be around 1,000 or so. It's starting to come up a little bit. "31 miles, so that's one reason we're not going all that high. So I'm not going to worry about it too much. And Of course, she does have altitude hold. It holds decent. It doesn't do a great job. You'll have to trim it at first, but after a while, you get it trimmed out pretty good, and she seems to hold it pretty well. I flew up here at 7,500 feet. She held pretty well once I got her dialed in, and also the power, of course, dialed in. So, of course, that affects everything. And you got to remember to check your fuel gauges, because remember, this thing doesn't have like both. It runs left or right only. You see, that one has a little bit more fuel. See where I'd like to get up a little higher quicker so I can start to pull the power back and lean out our mixture. Quite honestly, I'd like to use this fuel tank, or no, that one more, because we've got more weight on this side technically, because of the way the passengers are in. I'm going to go ahead and move that to 80. I'm going to trim her up a little bit slowly. Get on up to 4,500 feet a little quicker. I'll probably slow her down when I get close to 4,500 so I can... Although, I mean, we're not going to be cruising for very long. But I'm going to go ahead and speed her up, everybody, to 4x, and I'll be back in just a bit. Alright everybody, I'm back, and our engine sounds like we're losing power real quick. So I'm gonna go ahead and lose this yoke real quick and put on some carb heat. I'm gonna put that full. Although that sounds bad. And increase our power as well. And I'm gonna take off this altitude hold and put our nose down. Reset my views. We need to be down to 3,000 feet. Sounds a little healthier there. Unreal plane. I gotta trim you out. I have real problems with the trim on this plane. Obviously, we've been struggling with it. Like, she trims... I'm gonna pull back on the power as well. I'm gonna put this in about 50%. I think that'll help me with... because she keeps wanting to come nose up as I let off the power. Still. And now she says, hey, you've trimmed me too much. Back and forth with this trim. Back and forth. And now she comes trimming up. I just can't win with it. Backing up. Alright, but over to Yonex. At 3,000 feet is where we want to be. Man, come on, plane. Stop screwing around. And I hit 2 times, and look how nose up she comes. I'm just hitting the button twice, and she'll fall back down. You can see at our speed. Look, I mean, we're at 140 knots, almost into the freaking yellow. Plane just doesn't quite want to settle. Alright, we're coming up a little, coming up on 3,000. It'll be down to 2,400. Man, plane, you gotta work with me a little bit. I'm trying to trim her up so we can hold at 3,000. Altitude hold 3,000. Increase the power a little bit. She's gonna fall down. There we go. I had to get rid of that yoke to get to that carb heat. Just hidden right there. Alright, and we want to be full rich now that we're at 3,000. We're gonna have to switch tanks here in just a second. I'm gonna start calling out our positions. Oh, that's not what I want. There we go. KRZT, Ross County, Chillicothe. So over to the traffic. Runway for landing is going to be 23. Full stop landing. And that's our position.
Romeo, Sierra, Tango, traffic, Hyper, Golf, Kilo, Echo, Lima.
We're at 100 knots. I'd like to be a little quicker. You can see how much pitch we have to be to maintain this altitude. I'm just going to increase the throttle gently so she doesn't get out of whack too much. Increase it a little more. I was flying at 66%. I've actually gotten a little below that. Maybe if I do it this way. If I do it this way, I can get it right where I want. I'll put it at 75%. And after we make the turn, I'll switch to tanks. Although this one, we still got 2. We started out with 5, and that one's still got 5, obviously. Well, we haven't used it, so obviously it's got to have 5, or else we got a leak. And then we got even bigger problems over that. See it blanketed in snow. Chillicothe, I usually hit it on 23. Well, I used to. I don't fly it, go up there anymore. Drive up there. Straight up 23. On the way to Columbus. Alright, she's not turning, which is odd. She's slightly banking. And it should be on a heading of 298. Although you'll see, well, that says 230. What in the world? No, that was Jevmu. Jevmu to Yonex was 298. This is actually 2... It's 228 or 229. Yeah, that was from Jevmu. I've got it written down as 229. I thought it said 228 and then... But that was on the chart though, which is more real life, not FSX. You see how far she went past it? That's kind of odd. She did that. Alright, and the next one is Kefli. Kefli, we need to be down at 2,400. This is going to be crazy when I click off this altitude hold. Let's see what she does. Probably goes straight up. Ah, she actually comes nose down. Surprising. Way down. Just need to go 2,400. Yeah, that was weird that she went out. She went out a little ways. Let's pull back on the power again. See, that obviously has an effect on nose down, but it seems like it's a little bit on the drastic side. I didn't pull the power down all that much, to be quite honest. It said just 2,400 feet. You can see the runway. We're actually not lined up with it. Although we are off to the right. This thing, we're actually flying straight, which is weird. We should be flying off to the left a little bit. I can switch this over. See that at 229 we should be off to the right a little bit. It's kind of odd. I'm gonna fly to the heading now, which is probably better apparently to use right now. We went a little below our 2,400 by 100 feet. You see, it already says we're actually too low. So let me pull the nose up, increase our power a little bit. See if I can't get her to settle back towards. I'll settle for 2,300 feet to be quite honest, because we're actually going to go a little bit past it here in just a second. Hold there at 2,300. Try not to mess with the power too much. Now back to 229. She's pitching up a little bit more than I would like. So now it's our position. We're not quite on final just yet. To be quite honest, what we're going to go ahead and do is disconnect the autopilot. I think it'll be easier right now for us to just fly this thing manually. That did not work. I believe this is the autopilot, right? Yeah, I just moved that to track. The nav track. That's what that button does. I was thinking it was autopilot master switch. It's obviously not. Alright. She's pitched poorly. Alright, so I'll fly her, like I say, by hand. It's going to be a little bit easier. Yeah, we gotta slow down a little bit. I can't tell, it seems like we're low. I keep saying I think I see a red light, but sometimes I think I see a white light to the left of it. Yeah, a little easier to hand fly it the way that autopilot works. Old school autopilot. Nothing wrong with it. I'm sure in real life it actually probably works damn well, but on here it works kind of shittily. Not shittily, but when you're coming into land it doesn't work very well. I did try it for the ILS and it seemed to work. I don't think it can't you know, handle the elevation, although it did come down pretty nicely, so I don't think it does glide slope. You wouldn't think it would, the way with the climb and everything on here with this autopilot, but it did seem to work rather well. So a little bit, we gotta get down, obviously we're a little high. That red light is nowhere to be seen. It's hard to see the white lights in this snow. Bring back the power a little bit. Go back a little more because we got our flaps up, but we're going a little too fast. I was trying to get it down slower till we hit the flaps, but at the same time trying to get down and keep your speed up. It's not counterintuitive. All right, we're at full flaps. You see, we kept up a little too long. Alright. Add just a little bit of power now so we don't fall too much. We're going to stall. Oh no. Oh jeez. We're so heavy. Oh, it actually says it was okay. Damn you, air hauler. How can you say that that's okay? Yeah, that was terrible. We're so heavy in the back. I knew we were gonna stall there at the end, and the stall light came on. I guess maybe we were low enough where we didn't fall enough to hurt ourselves. I don't know. That was piss poor effort by me. We should have gotten down earlier, and then I could have come into more control, and with the proper speed. And then she got a little uncontrollable, just like on the takeoff, when you're that slow and your weight isn't totally correctly balanced and shit like that. And we never called that we were on final. I was too busy. Hopefully on this next flight, our next landing, we'll be a little better. We can drop some of this weight out of the back, because man, that's really hurting us. Landing light is off, strobe is off. I'll just go ahead and tell you when we're off clear of the runway. I forgot, like I said about the final, we were having a little bit of a problem. I don't know where exactly we should park. I guess down over there. Make sure that I stop that. Yeah, that's a little annoying. Put that in standby. Like I say, I think the big problem is we're just so heavy, especially in the back. I packed that thing full of weight. Alright, we'll come over here. And then remember we got one more flight left in this episode. We gotta fly over to 37I, which is Troy, Ohio. Yeah, hopefully we'll do better when we drop some of this weight, 400 some pounds or whatever. It's just a little hard to whoa. A little hard to handle. I wonder if we just go straight ahead. Is there going to be anything there? Now we need to come over to the left one, and then we'll be good. Technically, we should lean this out. Avoid hurting the plugs. I'll put it at 66%. I didn't like it at 50 when we were taxiing. Man, I keep swinging so early. I can't really see the taxi line. This, like, one of the negatives of moving the view down. It's harder to see over to the front. Which is why I'm going to change just in 1 second. I'm going to move it up just a little bit. Alright, let's stop right here. We never changed tanks, damn it. Why did I remember that? Gotta remember, it's a new plane, so we got stuff to remember. Let me go ahead and hit this. We might view up just a little bit. Now we're seeing over the top just a little bit better. And we can go ahead and shut her down. That carby in. So, actually, let me turn the electronics off first. Turn you off. Although it's really a quick turnaround. So you could just leave it on while we unload, but obviously in Air Hauler 2 you can't do that. Just power back. Cut the fuel. Beacon off. Turn that off. Mags come off. And master switch comes off as well. We'll go over to Air Hauler 2. Unload this cargo. KRZT. Now we're down to 427. Yeah, we lose a lot of weight. That's going to help a lot. Finish the flight monitoring. Let's see what she says. Alright, took off at 3:54, landed at 4:22 for a 28-minute flight. Took off with 58 pounds of fuel, landed with 35. Max altitude 4,576 feet. Max pitch negative 14.27. Max roll negative 11. Max speed 126.9 knots. Minimum G 0.47. Minimum G exceeded 0. Max G is 2.0. Man, they go out a lot. Max G exceeded 0. They made this thing smaller. It's kind of weird. Like, half of it's cut off. Max G's exceeds 0. Stall false, although we were right at it. Overspeed false. Landing description okay. Landing gear down true. Yeah, we really did stall. Landing surface asphalt. No damage for the surface, no damage for the plane. Came down at 266.69 feet. Landing speed 53.48. Landing pitch negative 7.0. Landing roll negative 0.45. Or negative 0.45. Negative 0. Landing heading 231. Landing wind speed 9 and wind direction 289. Like I said, on my way up to KUNI, my first landing, real landing, it was perfect. It was a greaser. And then I did that. I stalled her out. Okay, so we're over here at they made another flight for it too. All the way, wow. KRZT, no, this one. Wow, where are you going with that? Well, it says 295 miles. It looks like more than 295 miles to me. Actually, I think that's the one up above here that I've clicked. It's still a long one. Yeah, it won't let me. I can't click it. I don't know why I can't click it all of a sudden. But yeah, we've got to go now over to 37I, which is right over here. Let me click that one. And by the way, on the next one after this, the next episode, we'll come over here to this Moraine Air Park in Dayton, and we'll fly back to Huntington. I believe that's the plan, at least. But yeah, we've got to get over to the 37I. Like I said, well, I'll tell you a little bit about it, because AirDav didn't have anything for it, really. We're going to be landing on runway 23, which is on a heading of 232. The airport elevation is 928 feet. There's a grass runway and an asphalt runway, I believe. That's the Troy. Where the hell? Yeah, that is Troy. 37I. Alright, so or is this one with the asphalt? Only asphalt, I can't remember. Or is it grass? Fuck, why can't I remember all of a sudden? Could probably look over here. No, it is, well, no, that's the wrong airport. That's where we're taking off. Alright, so it is grass. But it's like 3,400 feet long, so it's pretty good. Alright, so I'm going to restart Air Hauler 2 and FSX. So I will be right back. We'll watch the landing, the horrible landing, and I'll be right back. Alright, everybody, here we are back in the plane. By the way, we were so heavy when we reset. This rear end, the front wheel was off the ground. We were so heavy, and that thing was cocked back so bad. Just way too heavy. I think that's why we landed so poorly. Alright, my buttons would work. There we go. She came started up for a second, so I had to turn it off. Get our parking brake on. I've already reset the fuel and the weight. Hopefully this time we'll have much better landing. Alright, so the fuel is 100%. Master switch coming on. Fuel coming on. Fuel pump, I should say. Got our fuel flow. Turn it off. Prime it a couple times. Well, I guess you could leave the master switch on. I'm not sure if that would matter. Okay, so turn that back on. Let's turn our nav lights on, since I guess technically our nav light, well, no, just the beacon for right now. Both mags over. That's at full. I'm going to go ahead and hit the starter switch. Alright, she's started up. Move this back out to 55. Reduce the throttle just a little bit. It says keep it around 800 or just over it. Go ahead and turn our nav lights on. And go ahead and turn our radios on. Let me make sure we got, let's see if we got the, turn the pitot heat on. This goes to standby. Just turn on everything. We don't really have a flight plan, but I did go into flight planner, and that enables us to go VFR. What a piss poor landing, man. Shameful. Shameful. We're taking off on runway 23. Go ahead and mouse our taxi to it.
Tango, traffic, Hyper Golf, Kilo, Echo, Lima, Sierra is taxiing to runway 23.
Alright, let me clear off all these messages. Turn off the messages. Okay, so we got about 66 miles, as you can see. Our fuel has been reset, as you can see as well. 5 pounds in each tank. Like I said, everything else has been reset, the weights and everything. Give it a little bit more fuel here, so we can taxi on over. Yeah, and just gotta get used to the plane, man. You know, it's a new plane. Everything's gonna be a little different. I hope we're in the same area. I accidentally had when I did the flight planner, it asked you, do you want this to reset you at the scheduled airport, and I accidentally clicked yes. So we're not in the exact same spot that we were. Alright, so this is, however, going to be our runway. Just making sure, because I thought there is 2 here. Yeah, so we'll just like take off from like right here. She gets up quick, so we don't need a ton of room. Don't need a ton of runway. Man, it's a whiteout. It's a whiteout. Daggone. Can I see, please? We'll just come down to the left. That should give us plenty of runway to use for taking off. Hopefully we'll have a more non-eventful flight, non-eventful landing. Man, that was shameful. I'm ashamed to put that out. It was just too heavy. And like I said, I'm not used to the plane yet, so you can't bash me too bad. But yeah, we like stalled out when we were like falling down, and we hit when we first hit, because we bounced her obviously, and the second time when we landed, we actually landed part of the plane off the runway. Daggone it. I gotta get used to turning this thing on the ground, my god. Alright. Slow down here. Stop. Turn the parking brake on so I can use both my hands. We're going out to, we'll still say the west. I don't know if I'd say more to the north.
Hyper Golf, Kilo, Echo, Lima, Sierra, taking off runway 23, departure to the west.
Landing lights coming on, strobes coming on. That's 100%. Flaps. Let's turn that on. Alright, let's check and make sure. I just saw the handbook over there. Although there's like I said, the procedures aren't totally with it. Like they were with the 172 and 182. I don't know why. Parking brake coming off. We'll go on our way to Troy. Is it in Troy, Ohio? I thought it was the same in Athens, Ohio is where it actually technically is. I don't know. Alright, here we go. Look how quickly, man, she's squiggly all the way up to 60 knots. I couldn't quite keep her on the line there. You can see a much better takeoff there. Oh, we're not so heavy. Alright, retracting the flaps. We'll make our way over to the right. Try to keep her from climbing too hard. Not sure exactly how she's trimmed. She's still trimmed kind of nose up a little bit too much. She's a lot better right there. Climbing about 800 feet a minute, and then she goes up on me. Right after I said we had it. But she climbs so easy, too. And I noticed the controls, I just pushed down a little bit on the yoke and she seems a little too reactive. Side to side it's not so bad, but up and down, just the slightest little bit of movement. Seems like she really makes a little bit too much of an impact. Especially compared to side. Like, she was really smooth side to side, but up and down. The slightest movement, she's a little too reactive. Guess that's how mine is set up. So we're on GPS. What have I done? Oh, I've turned that off. That's what? From last time. Alright, she cycled through, now she's on. Then now she'll follow the GPS here. See if I can get my climb dialed in a little better. Bringing the nose up a little bit. A bit too much. I like to keep her right around 1,000. That's... Come on, girl. Probably hear me clicking the hell out of it. But I hate how you click it several times and it does nothing, and then like the one after that it's just acts like you just drilled it. We're gonna be flying up to about 4,500, between 4,500 and 6,500, probably 6,500 because it is a little bit longer now. So with that, we haven't been showing too much of anything else. Been kind of hectic though in the cockpit, to be quite honest. I'm gonna go ahead and speed her on up, and we will be back in just a little bit. Alright, everybody, gonna slow it down here. We're coming up on 3,100 feet. I was gonna do the whole pattern and everything, but really at 23, I don't know that we really need to do that. I mean, we're almost coming straight in. I think we will do it, though. We need to hold... I'm gonna hold her at 3,000. Try to hold her. We've been in a steady descent there. I'll hit the hold. Right there at 3,000 feet. Where I think we're at 66 on the power. Yeah, there we are. Switch the tank over a little into the descent. Over to the right tank. I believe it's to the right tank, right? Yeah, right tank. Plus we got this, I think that's Dayton International right there. Ah, crap. Nearest airport list. 137I, that's Troy. Turn over to the traffic. Runway for landing is going to be 23. Full stop landing. And that's our position.
Yeah, traffic. Hyper Golf Kilo Echo Lima Sierra is 6 miles southeast, 3,000 inbound to land. Runway 23.
To be quite honest, what I should have done probably is let it go down a little bit more. Airport elevation is about 900 feet. We got right at 928, so we're about 2,100 or so above. This is gonna be Dayton International. Is there another airport right there beside it? Kind of looks like a runway. I don't see any other airports on this list. Unless it's that one. That would have to be that one. It looks like a runway. I don't know. See, the thing is, we're kind of flying in almost like a base leg right here. This 23 is just off, you know, it's 23, so it's just kind of the way we're coming in, I don't really like. Plus, we're off to the side, though. Maybe we can get her in. We'll come in on the downwind leg. Just like, maybe we should have come down here more and then cut into the pattern. So, click it over a little bit. Just putt-putting along. As you can see, there's a bunch of airports right around each other too. Real small. You see there's like closer to 4 or so. That's one thing I don't like about when there's small airports, it's the worst. About 3 miles away now. So we'll go ahead and I guess kind of come down the downwind leg. I don't know. Need to trim it up a little bit. There we go. Let's cut over. Hold on, plane. We're turning. Go ahead and trim her. We're about 30. Well, we went a little too far there with the trim. But she was dropping. Man, it's going to be hard. We're going to be on the downwind leg. I think we've gotten a little too close, though. Shit, I was clicking the button and I accidentally got that. It's going to be her right there. So we've made for a tight turn. Let's go out just a little bit. Try to keep it in view as well. Yeah, click that off. The thing is it going to be hard to keep that in view and remember what the hell which airport is ours? Like I said, there's a little cluster here. It makes it extremely difficult. There she is. I believe that's ours. Looks like she's going pretty much in the right direction to be ours. Looks like here's one, you know, right in front of it. Kind of ridiculous. So what I'm gonna do is click off the autopilot, reset my view. We're gonna go ahead and turn.
37 Indiac traffic, Hyper Golf,
I'm gonna just send too quick there.
is on base, runway 23.
So we've gone way. I feel like we're so off though. So I don't know if that was really us or not. .232 is the heading. See, that can't be us. Because we need to be on one that's slant over to the left. That's going to be us right there. See, there's just too many daggone little areas around here. That's going to be us right there. So we're a little too high, so we're going to have to go around. Man, it gets confusing with all these little damn airports. I really don't want to descend anymore. By the way, we need to do one thing with our fuel. There we go. Alright. Trying to get my hands free here. Like I said, I don't want to descend anymore. We're going to get a little too low and it's going to be really hard to find that damn runway again. I'm going to come out to the right a little bit. And then we'll come back to the left. And see, now I'm descending again. We're only like 1,000, really about 900 feet above right now. It's a little too low for my liking. This has got me worried. We're banking way too much. Like I say, I'm freaking worried now. That we're gonna have a hell of a time finding it. There she is. There she is. I'm gonna go ahead and put the flaps to 10. Go ahead and call it on final. Yeah, that looks like her. She's got the parking in the middle and on this end. That's what we wanted. I can't remember if I showed you all that part or not. Wreck the power. I don't know if we got the flaps out too soon with that speed. She should have been safe. Alright, flaps going to 20. I just don't want to be too low. Alright, we're at full flaps. Looks like she has a long area there at the threshold. Where the actual touchdown part mark. Man, we got some heavy wind is what it feels like. We don't have enough experience in this airplane to really want to crab land it. But what are you gonna do? I know we're going a little quick here. Bring back the power. Kind of a weird touchdown. It says smooth. It's a weird texture to the right of us. I don't know what's going on with that. It didn't really even make a sound when we touched down. We gotta... We can park right here in the middle. Although it kind of seems like that's almost kind of water. Now there's 2 parking spots here, and then there's parking... Let me stop right here. There's also parking back over there. I say we just park here. Then, depending on the weather, on the wind, when we leave... Actually, you all... I'll be leaving myself to reposition it. I say we just park right here. Park over to the side. Clear of the runway. There we go. Go ahead and retract the flaps. We stop that as well. We need to get our lane lights and strobes off, but I'll just do that as soon as we park because we're not going far enough to really stop to do it. Alright, parking brake coming on. Landing lights and strobe off, like I said. This needs to go to standby, but we'll just go ahead and turn it off. There isn't much room from the runway to over here. Turn the nav lights off. Shutter off. Beacon can come off. Mags off, master switch off. Let's go over to air hauler 2 and get paid. Unloader. Sweet. Finished the flight monitoring. Took off at 2:39, landed at 3:26, so it was 46 minutes. Takeoff fuel, 61.9 pounds, land with 36.9. Max altitude, 6,506 feet. Max fixed negative 9.23, max roll 38.83, max speed 119.93 knots, minimum G 0.69, minimum G exceeded 0, max G's 1.76, max G's exceeded 0, stall false, overspeed false, landing description smooth, landing gear down true, landing surface grass, landing surface damage 0, landing damage 0, landing came down at 159.36 feet a minute. Landing speed 54.24 knots. Landing pitch negative 4.53. Landing roll 0.08. Landing heading 241.9. Landing wind speed 11. Landing wind direction 296. It was interesting landing because we had to crab it a little bit. Like I say, we're new to this plane. I don't like having to land like that. Man, look at that. Pays a lot. It's kind of far, but it's way too much fuel. I mean, we struggled with 1,200 pounds or whatever. Not 1,200 pounds. We had 866. That's a little, man, it's just too much. I don't have a problem with the AI pilots doing it, but for me, I kind of want to cut it down a little bit. That was kind of nasty. So I was going to say you could do that. Let's get 20 hours. I will need to position over here. So if I think that position is just as far, so I think it's just best to just come on back to Huntington. Oh, that's heavy though. I'd rather have an AI pilot do that. So maybe what I'll do is I'll do this one. We'll do this one together. I-74 to KCYO. And then that's such a good one. I'll have an AI pilot do that because it's just too heavy for us to do it and have it look good. Maybe correct it or no, not stall or anything. So I should have somebody ready because they're only flying those passenger flights Monday through Friday. I get Saturday and Sunday off. I'm a nice guy. And so today is Friday, so they'll have plenty of time to do that. And they can do it in one flight, so it's great. So let's take a look at our company here real quick. Info. Already up to 42.4. We had to get to 40. See, they're helping with that a lot. Cargo reputation 61.2. I thought that an air hauler, that an AI didn't actually help your reputation. I thought only you could help your reputation. It seems like they've changed that. You can see it's been rising 0.2 each time. Nice, man. They're bringing in the money. I gotta say, that's pretty nice. Let's take a look at our financials here. Up to 126. Man, they're really going to help with that Monday through Friday. They're going to pay for themselves and that plane quite easily. To be quite honest, we could get another plane would actually be really nice. And another base. I mean, we could do another plane easily with these passenger flights. It pays for itself easily. Because you look, they've been bringing in 450, 440 times. See, they're bringing in 450. I accidentally set the ticket prices to 450, and because it said that, I thought it said that we should fill up the 3 seats, so it'd be like 1350. But actually, what's happened is we've been having only one passenger, and then I switched it down to 220. So that one actually, they did fill that one up. That was at 348, but the other one's got another 450. I must have missed that one. And at 220, they've been bringing in 2 people each time. So that was to Sissy. And so that one was when we had one where 3 people got in. Although that can't be because that's Louisville. So maybe they did. And these have been coming in just 2 at a time. So if I lower it maybe to 200, maybe we can make a little bit more. Although we were making more when it was 450 and we just had one person. But if we can get, 3 people in at like $200 or something, that'd be great. Even if it was 180, that would be fine. Yeah. So hopefully we'll just tinker around with the price and see what's best for it. But that's gonna be it for this episode, everybody. I hope you all did enjoy it. I will catch you guys on the next flight.